Okay, so this is that show that I started podcasting with and then stopped doing to pursue other endeavors. Oh shit, we're recording. I hit the record button. And and then I also am a professional now who knows how to do things. So coming back to it should be like putting on a comfortable pair of shoes, of finely worn down shoes that have been milked completely dry. The well is empty and only poison coats its walls. I'm just going to shut the fuck up. Hey, everybody, welcome to Let's Die, the His versus Hers Guide to the Apocalypse. The podcast still got it after all this time. It's like I never went anywhere. My name is Bret. Your boy, the Mountain Man from West Virginia. You may know me from other things such as Pokemon After Darkrai or twitch.tv/breaker streams or the Scary Funny Shark Show, Jawsbreakers. But you may also not know me from those things if you've never heard of me. But also, if you've never heard of me, how did you find this and why are you listening? Also joining me is a dream team of Let's Die veterans. I have carefully combed the internet for these people, this ragtag group who are joining my suicide squad of miscreants and mercenaries. Since the time of Let's Die, they've filtered into society, blending in, and it's kind of like in the movie when like the old operators, you know, the Secret Service type agent guys are being brought out of retirement, and like one lives in a jungle and he's terrified of the modern world, and one is a classy lady that lives in Paris and pretending to be French, and she lives in a loft but she has like an AK-47 underneath the pillow, and then another one's like a tech genius and nobody knows where she is. But I've managed to scour the web and track them all down. I hunted them down and drugged them here to this little corner called Let's Die, and I'll introduce them as such in just a second. This show is brought to you by... No, I'm just kidding. First off, joining me with no video. If you're watching the YouTube version of this video, you can't see her because she's unseeable, unknowable, and should you see her, you will go mad. She is the creator of this show and as well of Pokemon After Darkrai. Her name is Taylor, and she's my muse. Taylor, this is the portion where you unmute yourself and you say hello.
Hi, people.
There she
I'm
is.
Taylor.
That's Taylor. Taylor, welcome back to the show. You created this show, and I don't know who's been in the most episodes, not including myself, but you probably haven't run it. Hey! I saw that day. Foreshadowing, one of our guests has gone dark. I will have to track her down shortly and drag her screaming back. But until then, we'll move on to the next guest. He is a professional artiste. He is a dinosaur and robot enthusiast, I would say. And a robot dinosaur hobbyist, I would also say. His name is Nicodemus Rex. Nick, hi, how are you?
Doing all right. What's up, man?
Hey, man, it's good to see you. You were just on After Darkrai not too long ago.
Yeah, we played the Pokemon guessing game.
That's right, we sure did. A fabled pastime we don't do nearly enough on that show. And then also joining me is a person who I can no longer see. Are you still here with us?
Absolutely.
Okay. You know that voice. She's the one, the only, the Spider Queen of the West Coast and holder of my heart from the East. Her name is Dava. Dava, say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, so this is the dream team, right? So I don't know what, actually I know what possessed me. So I occasionally go back through the old episodes of Let's Die and I turn them into like videos and put them on YouTube for posterity's sake. And then I got to an episode, I was like, huh. Like I can't think it was Taylor. It was our anniversary episode. Like our 1 year or something like that. I don't remember. We tried to blow up the moon or some shit. And I was like, I wonder when our anniversary is. And I'm like, oh shit, it's coming real soon. Wouldn't it be neat if I did just like a little secret anniversary show that I totally won't keep a secret. You know, my big fat mouth will put it up on social media everywhere once it's out. But I thought it'd be funny, and I'm like, well, if I did that, who are the people that I consider to be the spirit of Let's Die? I think that's Taylor, and I think that's Nick for all the times I forced him to suffer on Amazon Echo series, like all those
God.
games. Go back and listen to those. They're hilarious and frustrating for us, but that's what makes them funny. And then I also think it's Dava, because I think Dava had some of the funniest moments and funniest episodes ever on this show. And so those were my short list. That was my dream team. And the fact that all three of you said yes, it's awesome. So real quick, I want to go around the room and we can just talk about where we've been in the interim, if that's cool. Nick, what have you been up to, buddy?
Lots of work. I got a bunch of commissions right now. I'm trying to work through. Doing some illustrations for a book. Might be the same illustrations I was working on the last time you asked me.
On After Darkrai, I think last
Yeah.
time we spoke on this program was, oh gosh, what, I don't even remember what you were working on back then. It's hard to say.
In all honesty, it was probably commissions for one of the other books in this series.
Okay.
So yeah, actually, I will go ahead. I know one of the authors is local. She's actually the one who brought me into the project to doing a thing. It's called Prisma Isle. It's a bunch of young adult sort of fantasy, contemporary. I don't actually know a lot about the plot. I'm sure so I can't really pitch it properly. It's got a Facebook page though. But it's gonna be a whole series of books from different authors, and I'm doing little illustrations here and there for them.
I'm gonna have to bleep all that out because you're plugging stuff on my show. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm just kidding. Definitely check this shit out on Facebook. Nick, you're a great artist. So good. I had your shit tattooed on my body.
Yeah, that's right. How are those doing, by the way?
Oh, they're doing great. Let's see. Demonetized coming into effect, but yeah, it's healed pretty good. It looks great. And if I'm ever someplace where my shirt is off, which is everywhere, I get compliments on it. So, except for, you know, the occasional old dude that's like, "You got Pokemon on your chest, weirdo." And I'm like, "Cool story, boomer." Taylor, you're a person. You are the reason why the show exists, because we had an argument over swords and bats, foreshadowing for later in the show. In regards to a zombie apocalypse, and you're like, this would make a good podcast, because while we argued vehemently, I'm sure I said that word incorrectly, it was also a very funny conversation. And then I was like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and like, this is funny. And the only way I would have done a podcast is if I had an angle on something that I couldn't find being done elsewhere. And that's where Let's Die came from. And I think I made you eat your words, because I actually went through and did it and forced you to be in a whole bunch of episodes. What say you?
Yep, you definitely twisted my arm and you made it into a thing where you got
I
lots
twisted
and
your
lots
arm?
of different podcasts.
I twisted your arm. What do you mean?
You didn't want me to use the katana.
But yeah, none of this massive hobby of mine, where I've met a ton of people and had legit like experiences and so many guests and met so many people and stuff, is because you were like, this would make a good podcast, and then that stuck into my brain like a parasitic hookworm on the backside of my eyeball. And so I guess I have to thank you for me creating this legacy that will surely outlive me, that probably my children won't be interested in listening to. So thanks for that.
No problem.
And also, you know, Dava and Nick can thank you for me constantly dragging them in the podcasts. So this is all her fault, not mine. Dava, my goodness, it's been amazing seeing you for 5 seconds, and it's even more wonderful having your presence near us. Oh my gosh, there she is. Wait, I got this. Oh, the audience loves her. Dava, welcome back to the show. You, out of all four, I almost said three, all four of us, probably had the most changes to your life since last we talked to you on Let's Die. What are you shaking your head for? No, you didn't have a baby? Because I think the last episode you were in, you had not had the baby yet. In fact, I'm 100% sure of that.
Maybe.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I remember stressing out. I knew he was going to scream, and then he screamed.
Oh, but wasn't that a different show that we did?
Oh. I don't have the answer for you. Maybe.
What was he born after, like not during the episode? That'd be incorrect. Dava, what do you think about zombies? Oh man, is that a podcast? Do we just go to the maternity wards and like interview mothers as they're giving birth? I think you'd probably get a lot of listens via that way. Are we about to see the man? Oh man, he's big. That there is the Let's Die Baby official. I don't know if that name's gonna stick. We don't want a baby running around going, "I'm the Let's Die Baby."
I mean, I'm fine with it.
The last time we did an episode with you on this show was Trick or Treat, It's a Baby. And you're right. He might have been born and might have been causing some havoc during that episode, but I don't remember. It's been a while. It's been so long. But yeah, he's definitely the only life given birth by this show.
It's because of the show, actually. I appreciate. Thank you so much for giving me.
I know it's incredible the way it's like an earworm. You know, it just gets stuck in your head. It got stuck in your uterus, and you gave birth to a baby. I'm sure your husband was thrilled.
It's like a Jesus thing.
Yeah, it's like a Jesus thing. Like,
yeah.
Should we name him Jesus? And we're like, no way. His name is Let's Die.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to do that because I mean I'm in California and there's so many Jesuses here anyway. So it's like,
sure.
I'm gonna do something. First
name Let's, second name Die. Yeah, and we won't say his last name, of course, out of respect.
Thank you. It's an exclamation point, but yeah.
Gordon.
Oh, you said Gordon.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's not his name. I'm kidding. I wanted to say a last name, so I used my own. What's up, bud? Also, fun trivia, fun fact, he's the only child that's ever been on this show. So he's got that going for him. A star was born.
That is on his Wikipedia page, so.
For sure, and I fully expect him to take the reins of this show over when I die. It is the family curse.
It is already written in your will, and we accept it.
It's a law-abiding citizen, if you will. It's a shackle of chains of law and order. I know words, and I know how to probably use them. Taylor, what do you think?
Yes, you are the wordsmith extraordinaire.
Thanks.
No one can beat you.
That's correct. Nobody can beat me except for my guest, because a little bit later, just to go over what this show is, in case you've never heard it before, why are you listening to it, first of all? But second of all, thank you for listening. This is a show where we talk about impossible things and how to survive them. And speaking of impossible things, how do we constantly survive that? No, it's totally cool. We love the chaos here. We love chaos. Oh man, so every seasons always starts with a zombie survival episode. I bring one of our series stalwarts in for their own solo episode on how they would handle the zombie apocalypse. First episode was obviously Taylor. Second season was my sister Blister Jasmine. Third episode was Wes. And never got to wait, who was season 4? Was it either of you two? Somebody tell me. Who was it? Answer thine question, or I shall answer it thine for themselves.
Definitely wasn't me. I narrowed it down that much.
Well, nobody. It's been the show. Believe it or not, I'm about to blow your all's mind. We're talking about this show like it's been dead for 10 years, right? Like this is like the anniversary show of like the long lost canceled sitcom that was beloved. It's not. This show, the last episode was in October of last year, which really wasn't that long ago if you think about it, but it feels like forever.
Feels like it was last year or something. Holy
oh
cow.
my God. I don't know who was on this show. Oh, it was my mom and Hannah. So I broke the format on the last season there. But anyway, that's what we're doing. We're gonna do zombies, and we're gonna do it with the people who, if this show had kept going, you guys would have also gotten your own zombie episode. So why not do it? And then we could also, I wanted to bring Taylor along specifically for this to see if anything has changed in her philosophy on the best weapon to use against zombies, because it's always been a bat and always will be a bat and will never be a katana. And now you say something, Taylor. Fantastic. Did she just put her like mouth into her like armpit and just was like?
No, that was me snickering because like she unmuted for a second, then immediately remuted.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Taylor. Appreciate
it. If you said anything, we didn't hear it, by the way.
Podcasting, everyone knows, is 99% visual. Theater, actually, that's not true. It's actually 99% theater of the mind. So silence is the ultimate Edgar Allan Poe of the theater, if you will. I guess I could have said Shakespeare, but whatever. I know my it's this show is a real Andrew Lloyd Webber, where we all have our buttholes not CGI removed. Don't look at me like that, Dava. You got something to say? I see her laughing while she's on mute. Why are you giggling so much there, huh?
I have no idea what the fuck that was supposed to mean.
Hey, don't worry about it. I'm funny.
I understood that reference.
Is that a shirt? I'm a funny. Is that a reference? Did I make a reference to something that I didn't know?
Yeah, just like there was a whole thing where apparently, allegedly, there was a version of that Cats movie, the one that everybody was terrified. Yeah. And I thought that's what you were referencing specifically.
Yeah, that's kind of where. I mean, that's where I was going with that, but and then man. We should probably just move on to the show proper.
Yeah, we should probably get started.
That's enough introducing and whatnot. It's been very fun catching up. I mean, there is one person who hasn't caught up. Taylor, have you been up to anything new since last we talked to you on Let's Die?
No, just the usual: working, flying drones, plotting to blow up the moon.
Hold on. For a second, I thought you said doing drugs.
Yes. I forgot to add that to the list. Thanks for covering that for me.
Doing drugs and flying drones. And what was the last thing you said?
Oh, just plotting to blow up the moon.
Oh, of course. That's our pastime, for certainly.
Yes.
What was the last episode you were on? Do we remember?
Of Let's Die? I have no idea.
It was
maybe the underwater one after we watched that movie.
Chronologically, it was a very special after-school special, One Life Left, which remember me, you, and Wes played a bunch of games, and then I released them. Look at that kid losing his mind. Look at that. He loves it. I mean, glad somebody enjoys the sound of my own voice other than me, because it was bound to happen eventually. It was a numbers game, really. The more people that heard it, eventually one person was going to like. Oh, he's shaking his head no. Never mind. He doesn't like it. He hates it. Shake your head no if you hate my guts and wish I were dead. Oh, David definitely does. But yeah, you're correct, Taylor. That technically the last one we recorded was Let's Die Underwater, which I thought was a great episode.
I don't know. I didn't listen to it.
That's, you know what? That tracks. Nick, if you were curious, your last episode, I believe, was Demonic Slayer. See what I did there? Demonic Slayer.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was
one.
A show about Demon Slayer.
I remember that like your dice hated me and were like, I want you to die real bad. I was like, I realize that's the point of the show, but I'd like to have a little fun.
Oh no, that's one thing we don't allow on this show. Is fun.
Well, that makes
no fun.
Everything.
We've never had fun on this show. It's least of all me. Did you see Mugen Train by chance? While we're on the subject of Demon Slayer.
I have not. I heard it actually did surprisingly well in theaters.
It's the highest grossing movie in Japan of all time. And I think it broke the record for like an anime in America.
Yeah, that one I know is
US.
accurate.
Yeah.
Like I saw a lot of the highest grossing Japanese film that also happens to be an anime, like stuff like that, like really small, like trying to make it blow it up a little bit. Still impressive.
I did see it, and unfortunately I'm sad to report I thought it was just okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love Demon Slayer. Don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of people who kind of blow it out of proportion, in my opinion, especially in the fandom.
Absolutely not. I think that first season is a masterpiece of it.
Oh, it's really good.
Like, it's really strong. Like it had me. We can't go into this, Nick.
Yeah. What do we? Okay, we'll save this for later. Yeah, we need to get the show on the road.
Oh my gosh! But you know what? You can't.
Is that the one with Betty White?
What? What are you talking about?
Isn't there an anime with Betty White?
Is there? Well, now I got now. All right. Well, now this is never. We have to do this, okay? So, all right, anime with Betty White.
Why didn't you just ask Alexa?
Oh God, fine. Computer, what is the anime with Betty White?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Oh.
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Okay. Could y'all hear that?
Yes.
She said no. She said she's having trouble connecting to the internet. I'll tell you, I'll be honest here. I'm not seeing anything with Betty White. Oh, she was in Ponyo on the Cliff by the Sea. So the Miyazaki movie Ponyo, that's what she was in. What, Dava, explain yourself. What made you think we were talking about Ponyo or Betty White?
It's like the only little like zippet of like clip of anime that I've seen, and then somebody pointed out that was Betty White, and I was like,
that is the most random thing. You've seen one anime clip that happened to be Betty White, and
yeah.
I'm about to blow your mind. There is more than 2 animes that exist in this world, David.
Well, I refuse to watch anything that isn't anime Betty White, so.
You know what? Fair. I mean, that is totally understandable, and I don't blame you. We should get an anime that is about Betty White's life, like Boondock, like the Boondocks, but with Betty White kicking people's asses.
I'm here for
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, let's pitch this. Let's Die. Actually, no, we better not do it under Let's Die, because then you know she'll die.
People
and
will come after you.
People will come after me. Yeah, I remember the news that was like, oh, like I can't believe this person died, and they're like, oh God, it's not Betty White, is it? Because everyone thinks it's Betty White, and I'm like, no, and they're like, oh, good, I can't, like, woo, really dodged a bullet, woo, and then they're like, oh, it was Stan Lee, and you're like, oh no, like misery. Okay, so we need to talk about the things we came here to talk about, otherwise we'll never get around to doing the thing. It's, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Zombie sounds, engage. That's what we're talking about. This is a terrible sound to have in the background there, and I'm going to make it stop. But so guys, Zomboners, we're all familiar with them. We've all seen them in movies and TV shows and comics and video games. You name it, they've been everywhere. Let's just go around the horn and talk about just give me something. Like, Nick, let's start with you.
Okay.
What is the ideal, I don't know, I want to get into it because I want to get into the minutia. Like, what is the ideal vehicle to survive the zombie apocalypse? Like something that nobody really thinks of. Like, is your little piece of shit Honda Accord going to do well? Like, is that one you want?
Man, like, seems like that would be like, they always portray, at least in films, like those usually get destroyed like immediately. Like you run over a couple zombies, they get gummed up, and then they're not moving anywhere. So you'd think, oh yeah, we'll get something like big, and then you run out of gas immediately because they're not made for,
Well, I mean, like a smaller vehicle, like the aforementioned Honda Accord, would get much better
Yeah.
gas mileage than like a truck or a full size SUV.
I guess it
But-
depends on what you're doing with it. Like if a small vehicle, if you're trying to actually stay to open roads, you'd need something big if you're worried about actually having to plow through zombie crowds. Of course, I doubt that's going to go really well no matter how you do it.
I mean, a bigger vehicle is less agile, and I want to
Yeah.
bring up something you said, like if you like it would be ruined if you hit a zombie. Like that's true of any vehicle. Like you
That's
could
fair.
hit you could hit a deer with a full size truck and total the truck.
Monster
So-
Yeah.
truck.
What?
Monster truck.
Monster
They
truck.
don't call it grave digger for no reason.
Ultimate gas efficiency, Taylor. You nailed it. Yeah, so I think you need to marry your needs, right? Like you would want something that can go a long distance on little gas. You want something that's fairly secure, and you want something that's going to be able to get you out of a jam. And I think not necessarily a full-sized SUV, but maybe like an all-wheel drive, medium-sized to small-sized SUV might be the way to go, because you have the advantage of having more storage in the back that's enclosed. So, it's enclosed, so you're not going to have zombies in the bed of your truck. It's all-wheel drive, so you'll be able to like go over humps and dumps and pumps and bumps and everything else that rhymes, and rumps. You're not going to be able to like run through barricades with it, but you're not going to really do that anyway for the most part. That would really come into play when you're talking about fighting the road warriors from the next empire of humanity that exists in this world. Like then you're dealing with a whole other different kinds of problems. But and then they're somewhat gas efficient. So basically what I'm saying is my Toyota RAV4 is the best vehicle, and I won't hear any further arguments about it, Dava.
Well, then I wasn't going to say that, but I've got nothing.
Well, Dava, since you got nothing, let me give you something. What's in your tool now? Given that I don't want to say what you currently do or your current aspirations, I don't want to give you away unless you want to yourself. That's fine. But you've been you've been a paramedic, correct? In a past life, or at least you've worked towards that.
Currently am right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Is veterinary medicine though.
I was getting to that one, veterinary medicine. I also wanted to say you've been a fire person, a person of fire.
Mhm.
So you have been in these jobs, these intense. By the way, thank you for your service. You've been in these intense, high pressure jobs where you're not solely dependent on your tools, but if your tools don't work, you're kind of screwed, right?
You just have to get a little creative.
Oh, well, I want to hear how creative you are. Like you have a tool bag and you're about to hit the road in your fantastic, beautiful Toyota RAV4 that's not at all looks like mine. What are you throwing in that tool bag before you hop in?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to switch up the vehicle here because
Oh man, don't do that to me.
sorry. I just bought a new car. Well, I just bought a car, so I'm going to use that one, but I'm going to pretend like it's souped up because right now it's not. So I just bought a 1980 Datsun.
What? Oh!
It's going to be freaking souped up. So that's what Mama's driving. Okay. And then just to kind of give you like a little preview of my cleverness, my neighbor came over the other day and was like, I need a watering can for my garden. Do you have one? And I was like, no, I don't, but I can make you a hillbilly watering can. And they were like, what the fuck is that? Because they're from Europe.
Hold on. Before you say what it is, can we all take a guess on what it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I should be the one that is able to get this, being a current redneck as it were. But let's go around the horn. Nick, what do you think a hillbilly watering can is?
Well, my knee-jerk reaction with no information whatsoever would be just like a tin can with some holes in it.
Okay, Taylor.
Yeah, I was thinking 2-liter bottle with some holes in it.
Okay, I was thinking knee-jerk reaction skulls of our enemies, of the fallen, since we're obviously cannibals with eyes in our hills. But also, I would also say a Mason-Dixon jar.
Okay, well, I mean, y'all aren't wrong. It's pretty much where I was going. So I told him, I was like, just take a cup and put plastic wrap over it and poke a bunch of holes in it and like tie a rubber band around it, and there's your watering can. And he was like, he's very European. So he was like, I don't think that's gonna work. And then the next day I saw him and he was like, it worked really great. And I was like, because I'm fucking redneck. Put yourself some holes in that cup and it's gonna work just great. And he was like, that's yeah. So I'm resourceful and
Listen here, you European son bitch. You down here in the holler, we got some lessons to tell you now.
what's up, Fabian?
Yeah. How you doing, Fabian? Good to see you. You didn't know that about your neighbor, did you? You don't know about her roots. I'm here to tell you all about them.
While I'm in my Crocs, I'm like showing him how to do it.
Yeah. Dava, you thought you could escape the hills, but yet the hills come back to you. Oh, the true horror movie of our lives. So we have your cup with holes poked in a plastic lid in your tool bag. What other tools are you planning to bring for the zombie apocalypse, assuming we need to water these zombies, I guess, or something? Because I know you said you want to be resourceful, but let's just say you run out into your garage. What are you grabbing? Like, what would we need long term? What would we want on hand for various things?
I mean, if I'm hanging out with if we're all together,
I hope so.
I think I'll let Taylor bring the baseball bat. I'm 100% supportive of that because you can't get any better than a baseball bat. But I would
We're getting to weapons shortly.
maybe a shovel.
Shovel could be good.
You know, it's lightweight-ish. It's not that heavy. It's got a point end. It's got wood.
It doesn't take up a lot of room in the Toyota RAV4, but I don't know if you're going to be able to have, it's going to be poking me in the butt in the back seat of your Datsun 280s. What is it, a 280Z?
And well, it's hatchback, so we're going to be good.
Okay. That, by the way, side note, that's a sweet ass car.
I'm so freaking pumped.
You send me a picture of it later.
Yeah, I will.
Because I kid you not, I saw one of those. I know that we're getting sidetracked, but I saw one of those on the lot several years ago down here in my hometown. And I was really tempted to buy that when I didn't have the money to. They're cool cars, but
yeah.
All right. So we got Taylor has a baseball bat, which is her weapon of choice, and she'll never argue otherwise. We have a shovel. We have a jar with some holes poked in the lid.
We don't have to bring that. That was just
well, it's in there now.
Put some acid, and then like maybe that's just how we do it.
That just seems like a risk to ourselves. Like you got to pull it out of the bag in a high-speed chase. I don't know why it's high-speed.
Acid-filled cup. That's it.
I reckon that acid could come into handy though. Like say we need to get into a door, and we don't have the key. Like maybe that. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking of cartoons, and in real life, acid doesn't necessarily work the way I'm thinking of. Because I doubt we'd have access to acid that acts like molten lava, but
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, Taylor, you're of a science background. You've been a scientist. You are a current researcher of things. What would you grab and throw in Dava's bag? Not throw at Dava, throw in her bag.
You can throw it at me. That's fine.
She's gonna throw. Let's be honest. She's gonna throw it at me.
How big is the bag?
Oh, no, we're not doing that. No. We're not getting that specific. Just
it's like an army duffel bag. It's a good size bag that you can just throw on your back.
Sure, okay. If we want to get into specifics, because she's gonna try and like screw up with the rules. I'm like, I'm gonna bring a crane, and I'm like, no, Taylor, you can't bring a crane. Like that's what she's gonna do.
Dang it! You ruined all my good ideas.
Yeah, I want to bring a bulldozer, a Sherman tank.
I can bring one of my drones. That way we can get, good visibility. Figure out what's on the route ahead.
That's a brilliant idea, actually. Fantastic for scouting. Like, hey, is wherever we're shacked up. There's a grocery store over there. Let's scout it out. Taylor can fly her drone. It's nimble and quick enough and get higher than the zombie, so it can scout out the grocery store safely from a distance.
We just need to find a way to recharge it with solar power.
Which they make external battery packs with solar panels on them. Like, that's not that unfeasible. Which I think that's going to be my pick. I'm going to pick a solar panel so that we can charge things that need to be charged. I don't know that we'll need a cell phone necessarily in the apocalypse, but rechargeable batteries for maybe walkie-talkies or rechargeable batteries for flashlights, things of that nature, would be tremendously useful. Nick, what are you going to toss in there, buddy? Other than a baseball bat, which is obviously the best thing, and we've established that, and Taylor agrees.
I think going back to the vehicle discussion.
No, we've moved past it.
It's related.
Fine.
What? So got a wrench sets, stuff like that. Something to keep the vehicle actually maintenanced if possible, as much as we can. That within reason.
A wrench set. So, like, do you mean like sockets?
Yeah, I think some sockets.
Nick, if a car is broken down, do you have the background to be able to fix it? Like, what is your level of experience with vehicles?
A couple weeks ago I wouldn't have said much, but like last week, me and my dad pulled the water pump off of our Volvo. And
okay, I mean that's useful information. After I crashed the RAV4 that our lives depend on, I did put it back together. I mean, currently it needs $478 in repairs, but we don't.
That's a big oof.
Well, no, we'll ignore that. You didn't hear that part. Okay, I forgot to mention that inspection stickers are a scam. I'll tell you that much. So, what kind of car was that, Nick? The one with the water pump?
It was a Volvo 240.
So our lives depend. What year is it?
1992.
A 92 Volvo. So our lives depend on a 92 Volvo, a 2003 Toyota RAV4, and a 1980 Datsun.
Yeah,
and my sailboat.
All of those older cars are going to be easy to fix.
I mean, okay.
It's going to bite your ass.
Okay, that's fair. That is a very valid point. New cars are a fucking monster to try and work on. They're terrible. Dava and Taylor, I don't need to ask you guys if you could fix cars because you two are, no offense, Nick, they are probably two of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. So I have no doubt that they can figure out the guts of a car and put it back together and probably reassemble our cars into different types of cars. I don't know. Shit.
We just need instruction manuals. I'm good.
Ooh. Yeah, you need to throw a Haynes manual in that bag.
I don't know what that is, but okay. How about so we got tools to fix the car. Let's also toss in a map. What are those maps called? The big ones that people used to carry around before GPS.
An atlas.
Thank you, an atlas. I mean, you can still buy them. That's a good thing to have. Like if you didn't have GPS or whatever, or a phone.
How about a compass?
Why do you need that for?
So you can know which way you're facing.
But why do you need to know where you're going? Like, what's the end goal here? Where are we trying to go?
You're going to my sailboat. Safely docked.
The sailboat that you
poles.
Do you own a sailboat, Taylor, that I didn't know about?
I mean, I want to. They're so cheap up here.
Although I guess we don't need to own it, do we? If it's the apocalypse, we could just
just take one.
Yeah.
So any boat can be your sailboat.
Yeah. It's not a bad plan, really. I mean, we'll have an issue later down the line, but in terms of immediate safety, it's not a horrible idea.
I mean, you don't have to sail the sailboat too far away from land. You can stay nearby. You just want to get far enough that the zombies can't walk out to it.
Are we going to live our whole lives just off the shore, Nick? What are you talking about here?
I have no idea.
I mean, we could fish, I mean, there's a source of stable food. I mean, assuming we can get water, I guess so. I mean, it's preferable to being eaten alive, I guess. It's gonna get crowded with all our dogs and various animals and tarantulas and cats and whatnot, though. And children and husbands, of course. I forgot to mention them.
One spider.
I know. I still just got the one. I never re-upped, as it were.
I have the perfect amount of spiders. 0.
No, the perfect amount is that there's never enough. And me and Dava will tell you that. You'll never get Dava on your side regarding spiders with that attitude, Taylor. Thank you very much. She's on my side. What's next here? There's a thing of notes here because this is a show that I know how to do. Oh, weapons. Let's go through the weapons real quick. And who did we start with last time? I don't even remember. Oh, Taylor, you're up.
Well, obviously, I'm bringing a baseball bat.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is that all?
Yep, only a baseball bat. I will just, die after the second zombie I see.
That's impossible because a baseball bat doesn't need reloaded. It's not bladed, so you don't have to worry about keeping it sharp. It's not going to get stuck in a bone or anything like that. It's going to be perfect for knocking the heads off of Zomboners. And even if it doesn't kill them, the body will be disoriented enough for you to escape. So
you forget that I have no upper body strength. So, Miss, I can't do a push-up. Isn't going to be using a baseball bat to kill nothing.
You don't have to lift your body weight to swing a baseball bat. Like a baseball bat in anyone's hands is a deadly weapon. Just ask poor little Jimmy Buffett or Jimmy. That's a bad name. I asked poor little Jimmy on my little league team when I hit him in the face with a baseball bat. He spat his teeth up, and I still feel bad about it to this day. It was an accident, pure accident. But
Was it though?
Even if it was, and every time I ever saw him since, he always gave me shit about it. And I always felt bad about it. He's like, "Oh, remember that time you knocked all my fucking teeth out?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I changed his name. His name isn't really Jimmy Buffett, obviously. And he went on to record hit musics, such as "Welcome to Pina Colada Town" or whatever the fuck. For weapons, I guess I'm bringing a katana because it's the most superior weapon that you could bring. As long as you keep it sharp, you don't get it stuck in bones. It slice clean through heads. You need a lot of upper body strength to cleave bone because that's a thing. Bone is incredibly resilient, and it's not like the movies. Like you can't just chop someone's head off in one go unless it's a fucking Hattori Hanzo, and I hear he's not making anymore. But yeah. Taylor, thoughts on the sword proposal idea?
I think it's an amazing idea. I don't know how you possibly came up with such a great idea.
I don't know. Do you want to trade?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, fantastic. Nick.
Yes.
Weapons, buddy.
Shoot.
Guns? Shoot? You said shoot?
Maybe I'd say maybe a bow. I don't, depending on how accurate you could be.
So you want to be a ranger.
I mean, that could be nice. Ultimately, I think I'm going to jump on a bandwagon and say a really good stick.
A stick? Like a tree branch?
No, like stick. Any kind of, technically, baseball bat is a stick.
No. Let's be honest. The stick is a stick, like a piece of wood that fell off a tree.
It's not. Yeah, look, I'm talking about an actual
David,
stick.
you know the most about
fighting
animals and nature and whatnot. What is a stick? Yeah. This is why I brought you on. You're a professional, okay?
It's a stick.
Thank you. A stick is a stick, Nick.
Yeah. You know what? Screw it. Yeah.
That's
a big stick.
Big stick. All right. Well, we got a sword, we got a baseball bat, and we got a stick.
You can do the big stick.
We could say a hockey stick. That's a stick.
I mean, technically. I mean, the stick is the grandfather of all weapons.
Wouldn't that be a rock?
No, that's rocks are terrible weapons. What are you doing?
What did Cain kill Abel with?
Well, he was just an a-hole, man.
I guess that
he just killed him with a stone stick.
Yeah,
excuse me, a stone, not a rock. Okay, we won't throw rocks at zombies.
It's not like Abel was fighting back. They didn't have an epic rock battle of history here.
Well, he was ambushed.
Exactly. It's not a weapon. It's just a blunt thing.
There's a cat. Is that your weapon of choice, Dava? Is that what you're throwing at the zombies? That's really cruel.
Cat.
Oh, I was thinking it's a distraction. Here, have the cat before me.
I might with this one actually.
Oh no. Maybe a frying pan could be more utility because then you could eat Never mind. I won't
I was
go.
gonna say possibly a I don't know how well would like a sledgehammer hold up in the long run. So it seems like that'd be nice and meaty.
Well, if the head, well, it depends on the sledge. If it's like an old sledgehammer that can come off of the handle, then that's bad. But if
Yeah,
it's
that's
like one of
bad.
the new ones, that'll never fall apart. But also, you're gonna get fatigued swinging a sledgehammer
Yeah,
around.
that's the problem. That'd be good for like
Yeah.
taking out like a couple zombies you ran to a small group real
A
quick.
a sledgehammer would be more of an impromptu weapon that is primarily used as a tool in our little toolkit because you could use it to smash doors in. If
Yeah, there
needed
you
to
go.
Get in someplace. So it would be something that you wouldn't be the first thing you picked up, but it would be nice to have on hand.
There you go.
Um,
I like that. We got
Now,
swords, sticks.
I will say a roofing hammer would be really interesting because if you've never seen a roofing hammer, they're very long and they have like a very long like sickle at one end, and they're kind of vicious looking. Dava,
Ooh.
hi,
Hi.
hello. What are you adding to our armory of dumbassitude here that we got going on? We got sticks, we got bats, we got swords, we got a sledgehammer for some reason. We said that was in the tool bag, but it also counts as a weapon, I guess. It's fine. Cat.
Feel like hear me out.
Oh no. That's perfect for this show. Those are a perfect way to start something. Go ahead.
So like people are gonna want to use guns. Ammo is gonna be an issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna have ammo, but if you had a nail gun,
A nail gun.
nobody's gonna buy up all the nails, you know, like they would ammo. You just stock up. They're smaller. It's lighter weight, but they do as much damage-ish
Okay.
with longer nails. I feel like
And-
I'm something here.
Can you actually modify a nail gun to fire nails though? That's the question.
That's what
'Cause
a
I-
nail
I
gun
know
is, Nick.
Yeah, but I mean like at range, a range greater than like that far. Because I knew a guy who argued up and down that the way nail guns are built, like they just can't do that. Like I don't know, I've never tested it, so
I can't imagine with as much force that a nail gun puts out in a nail to go through wood that it could not go further than this far. Like it
Google.
had,
but I'm saying you're like firing it out to travel a distance to then pierce something. Like
I think the greater
that?
issue is where are you getting the air to power the nail gun?
That's a good point.
So
They have battery powered nail guns.
they
Although-
do. And it has been tested on this very short reading that I've done. 50 yards. Suck
Oh,
it.
nice.
Shit.
So
I just realized that I left a bit of context out of the argument that I was making. That's that like it was like those scenes in movies where people accidentally shoot themselves to death with nail guns, and he's like the safety stuff in that wouldn't let you do that. Why are
Uh-huh.
it's not a thing. Okay, my argument's void. Forget it. So
50 yards sounds good to me. I don't even.
That's
I
not
mean,
bad.
Dava, you work on your sharpshooting skills with that nail gun. It could come into real handy. Also, I want to point out that it's quiet, much quieter than a gun.
I mean,
um,
It would
Comparatively.
also make a really good YouTube video if you want to like teach people how to use nail guns as anti-zombie weapons.
I don't think we should do that. I don't think that's something we should put on the air there. It could be taken the wrong way.
I love how
um,
creative Taylor is.
Wow. So we got a lot of things in our tool bags. We got a lot of things in our weapon cache. We got a lot of things, a lot of vehicles to carry all our shit in. What we eating, folks? Like we're in the kitchen and we just gotta we gotta fill our pockets as quickly as possible. We spent too much time loading up our vehicles with other things. The zombies are nearly here. We have to get something to eat on the way, but we don't have time to bake a fucking cake, Taylor. Damn it. What are we grabbing? Dava, let's start with you.
I actually have a bunch of MREs.
What the fuck?
So,
Cheating. That is cheating, and I'm pretty sure.
I do have a bunch of MREs from work.
Whose house are we at? That's what I want to know. Wow, MREs are the perfect thing to grab. They're compact. They don't take a lot of room. They last not forever, but they last longer than anything else for the most part. Packed full of nutrients with somewhat decent peanut butter. Nick, what are you grabbing? Wait, don't shake your head like that, David. The peanut butter, of all things, the peanut butter in those little packets is somewhat okay.
You'll
Fight
get
me.
I mean, honestly, like canned goods are probably the way to go. I like instant ramen, but like that has no nutritional value
Is that
whatsoever.
is that in a can? Do you think
Yeah.
is your
I'm
instant
saying
ramen
can-
come in cans, Nick?
You know what? I'm not even gonna bother.
That makes
You know,
sense. That's how we made our hillbilly watering can.
I mean, you can use a can to cook. You
With
eat
our-
the chunky soup out of the can, and then you cook the instant ramen in the can. You got the chunky cheese soup out of there.
Getting the most out of everything you bring. I like it, Nick. I'm just giving you hell, by the way.
Yeah.
That's my job. So what kind of canned food? Actually, you know what? We'll save it for later. Taylor, what foodstuffs are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing peanut butter and some sort of grain like rice or something. Like rice and peanut butter will last forever. And the
Shit.
peanut butter's got like a high calorie density, so it'll keep you full for a while.
Yeah, you took mine. I was gonna say a bag of rice, like because I actually have several bags of rice in my cabinet. You could make like a small bag of rice, about yay big. For the podcast listener, you're just a shit out of luck.
That
Like,
rice
you
has
can-
his head.
You could ration that out and keep yourself alive long enough to at least live for a little bit, and you could cook it in Nick's can if you want to be technical. So I guess since Taylor took mine, oh no, what am I gonna bring?
You can use my fishing pole. It's okay. Don't
That
worry.
is not a food item. Do you keep fishing poles in your kitchen, Taylor?
Yes.
Is that
Don't
where you
you?
keep those? No, I do absolutely do not.
You don't catch
Um,
fish out of your sink too? Come on, man.
Oh man, what am I thinking? I'm
Yeah,
really
fish can spawn anywhere there's standing water.
I'm really missing out.
I
What?
got that waterfront view, just throw the fishing pole out the window.
For
throw
sure.
something in.
It's like a boomerang. You throw it, it comes back. You got a fish on the end.
Oh God, let's see. So we got canned food covered. We got MREs. We got peanut butter and rice. God, I honestly can't think of anything to bring. I guess I'm just gonna bring a jug of water because we're gonna need water at some point. So
Good idea.
yeah. Which hopefully we're in a place that rains somewhat, somewhat decently.
I
But
mean, you can always desalinate your water through some complicated process I didn't bother to memorize.
sure, we have the means to grab a desalinating machine,
Don't worry, I got you.
in this rush scenario. No, Taylor, you don't have a
Build one.
desalination machine.
You just make one. It's fine.
Yeah, you just
How
gotta
do you
evaporate
make
the
one?
water,
You just need like a pot and some plastic, and you can make water. It's cool.
basically.
Okay. Are you talking? Never mind. I don't even care anymore. It's pointless. Wow. So
Useless.
we've talked about a lot of things. Like we talked about how we're transporting ourselves and our goods themselves, our means of offense and defense, and we talked about the things that sustain us. Is there anything that I'm missing that we need to do before we bug out as the zombies shuffle nearer and nearer to our door? Nick?
Are you fishing for something specific, or is this
No,
just
not
like
at all. This is the
Damn.
floor is. You know what, Nick? I led with you, but it's really for anybody. Anybody, feel free to jump in if there's something that I'm not thinking of. And obviously, this is not an ideal scenario because no one's going to be 100% ready. If you're sitting by your window with binoculars, going, "I knew it, they were coming," and then you've lived a sad life, and I'm very sorry for you. But this is a matter of, oh my God, did you hear the zombies are coming? We have to go.
I'm grabbing headphones and downloading all my music onto my phone.
You know what?
Now I'm prepared.
I want to give you shit for that, and my snap reaction was to do that, but not a terrible thing. Honestly, it'll stave off cabin fever, I guess. Nick, Dava, you got anything to add that we can't think of?
I really appreciate that the music, even though it's in a life or death situation, probably not the first thing I'm thinking of, but then
Yeah.
like the second thing, maybe like, shit, I really wish I could listen to some Chris Cornell today, but
Damn it, Chris.
anything.
This scenario, I want to say, for David's sake, doesn't include grabbing your child and husband. Obviously, they're already in the. We've already thrown them in the vehicle. They're safe.
That's a given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
yeah, and all the puppies are loaded up. Like we're not risking our loved ones in this. I like how David was like, "Oh yeah, the husband."
I just figured that they were like already done.
You know what? They're visiting the in-laws where there's not a single zombie to be found. We'll just say, how about that? That's what we'll go with. And I don't know why they're at the in-laws and you're not there, but we don't need to get into it. They could be your in-laws. Duh. Nick,
Yeah.
are you bringing the in-laws?
I mean, I thought we just established that they're elsewhere.
I'm just kidding.
So- but all right. Well, I mean, I think if we're talking about entertainment stuff, like some books, possible, a couple of books. Yeah.
We're not necessarily talking entertainment. We're just talking
okay.
about like anything that we've missed. Like I was kind of leaning more towards essentials. But if you want to grab like a bunch of books and if there's room for them in the car, I guess.
that is an issue. Man, I can't.
The RAV4 has a DVD player in it. I just want to point that out there.
Ooh, fancy.
So yeah, we'll be in style. Y'all be fighting for seats in the RAV4 because you want to watch, I don't know, Family Guy for the 100 millionth time. You know you do. I see the look of yearning on David's face even at this moment. Oh, the Toyota RAV4 of my dreams. It's totally okay, David. I feel you. I'm not going to bother adding anything because I'm useless in all scenarios. I guess I could try to just bring my phone. I guess that's the only thing I would bring. And maybe document the apocalypse. As a podcaster, it's my duty to then take on the death throes of humanity in a journalistic sense. And really World War Z this sucker out, the book, not the movie. And you have my full permission to kill me if I start reading any of Nick's books, because by then I'll be very bored. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do a thing with another thing. Unless anybody has anything else they want to say, Taylor, say we'll be right back. So do that for me.
We'll be right back.
Oh my God. Oh, I have to go to the